Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the BOCC Land Use Meeting. Today's date is Thursday, May 14th, and the time is 9 o'clock. We will call this meeting to order. First item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Marcy, would you please lead us?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will take attendance, beginning with Miss Day.
Marcy Day, Assistant County Attorney.
Paula McFeeters.
Zach Swearingen.
Miles Lucero.
Carmen Howard, Director of Planning and Development.
Thank you to everybody else in attendance. We have minutes to approve for March 12th of 2026. I'll ask for a motion to approve those minutes.
Commissioner, was there two sets of minutes? Yes, sir. Yeah, March 12th and April 9th.
Oh, March and April 9th?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I will make a motion to approve both.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Are there any modifications to today's agenda?
Commissioners, we did have an updated agenda that removed item number 4, resolution for zoning violation 24-108. Although I believe some of the agendas that went out still had that on there. So that is, item 4 is removed, and the new item 4 is the 1041 permit Fonzie for Honors Energy.
Okay. I will ask for a motion to approve the amended agenda as presented.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. That'll bring us into public comment. I've got 3 names here. Steve Kennard, Jack, and then Ethan. I don't know if you guys signed in just to sign in, or if you would like to speak for public comment. Nobody? Just signed in?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you're good. Okay. Does anybody want to speak for public comment? Seeing none. No public comment. That'll bring us into our regular items, Ms. Day.
Okay, Commissioner, the first item is House Bill 1041 permit Sirius Solar Energy, case number SLI 24-9, brought by Infinity Global on behalf of Sirius Solar Energy Facilities LLC. This is requesting approval of a permit pursuant to Chapter 17.07 of the Pueblo County Unified Development Code, areas and activities of state and local interest for the site selection, construction of a major facility of public utility for Sirius Solar Energy Facility. The proposed project is a 150 megawatt alternating current, 195 megawatt direct current utility scale solar photovoltaic. I always stumble on that. Facility with a 75 megawatt, 300, I'm not sure what that abbreviation is, MWH. Thank you. Battery energy storage facility system located on approximately 969.8 acres of privately owned land in eastern Pueblo County. The facility will generate renewable electricity and interconnect to the existing Boone Midway 230 kilovolt transmission line operated by Xcel Energy. We'll begin with a hearing of staff comments. If staff has any comments that they would like to provide on the case, followed by a presentation by the applicants and testimony by anyone in favor, and then testimony by anyone in opposition. If there is opposition testimony, the applicants will have an opportunity to give rebuttal, which is limited to issues raised by the opposition. Individual testimony will be limited to 3 minutes per person. Finally, there will be deliberation by the Board of County Commissioners. The commissioners may choose to keep the hearing open, continue it to a date, time, and place certain to receive further testimony and evidence. You may choose to close the hearing, take it under deliberation, and continue to a date, time, and place certain to render decision, or you may close the hearing, deliberate, and render a decision today. For purposes of these hearings, the Board of County Commissioners is sitting in a quasi-judicial capacity and as such are prohibited from obtaining evidence from either side outside of the public hearing process. The board must apply the standards and criteria in the Pueblo County Code to the facts presented at this hearing to arrive at a decision. So please limit testimony to information relevant to the permit request before us. At this time, I will request that the hearing be opened and that the staff reports and any additional documents provided by staff to the board be made part of the record of proceedings.
Thank you for all that. We will open the hearing and accept the staff report and staff documents into the record of proceeding. Would you like to make any additional comments? Are there any additional comments from staff?
Thank you. I just wanted to add that I did put late correspondence on each of your desks or in front of you this morning.
Thank you for that.
And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. We will now invite the applicant to give their presentation.
Thank you for having us. Do you want to bring it up? Do you have it available? Just some quick information too. My name is Ethan Yonke, 2743 Galena Street, Denver, Colorado. I'm a senior project developer for Infinity. I'm here with my team, Dale Harris and Jack Pritchett. And as you can see, I'm with Infinity Global. And that's Cirrus. That's what Cirrus looks like. Sirius. That's a joke. Sorry. No, so moving on to the next slide, if you could, please. Yeah. So who are we, right? One of the things that I wanted to talk about, I think Ms. Howard recommended that we give a speech or a presentation on the basics of who we are, just because most people don't know who we are, and that we can give you a couple complementary items within there that follow through on both projects, both Sirius and Seal. Who are we? We're based in Miami, Florida-based corporation. We have an office in Dallas. We also, I'm based in Denver, as I said, as is Jack. We're long-term investors in our projects. We like to build, own, and operate our projects. We have a portfolio of about 400 megawatts of operational assets currently, 24 gigawatts under development, and globally, we have almost 40 gigawatts of renewable energy projects going on. Yeah, and not quite yet. And we have over a gigawatt of operational assets, 1.5 gigawatts in construction. We have operations in Japan, India, and Europe. We're the largest energy producer in Italy, if that means anything. Capabilities. Yeah, we have our leadership has over 300 years of experience, and we've brought in over $5 billion of investment over the past few years. Excuse me. You're good. You're good. All right. This is a good next one. Let's go to the next one. Okay. This is a great example of where we're at. We have 3 states where we're operational in North Carolina, Idaho, and California. We have almost 25 gigs in our pipeline with land control, over 14 gigawatts of power fully permitted, 2 gigawatts that are under system impact study, and an interconnection agreement with over 1.4 gigawatts currently, and another 466 under construction right now. So we'll be near a gigawatt by the end of the year locally or within the United States. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, we're a build, own, and operate company. We like to invest in the communities that we're going into. These projects are huge, right? Combined, these two are almost $1 billion worth of investment on our part, right? 250 for Sirius, 550 for Seal. We're expected to bring in approximately 60 million in tax benefits over the course of the 35-year projects. We're looking at 450 to 550 construction jobs if they're approved. We are focusing on local workforce and subcontractors. We want to, we do that naturally, like with local folks, because it's cheaper, it's quicker. They know the area, they know the process a little bit better. We're working with Leuna right now. We have a signed commitment to work with them as of yesterday. We work closely with the local communities. Like with Sirius, we've been out there since I think 2020, 2021, talking with some of the neighbors, talking with the landowner, and trying to get a working relationship. We have community meetings for all of our projects. This one was especially fruitful. Gave us a lot of great information on what was going on out there. The neighbors who had actually either owned or worked the land before, give us a great idea of what to expect when we do some construction. So, that's part of what we do. Next slide. Working in the West, and you saw that slide, we have so many projects out West. We're dealing with a lot of drought areas right now, fire areas. We have a project in western Nebraska that was adjacent to a fire, so we're pretty well aware of some of the safety and issues that are associated with these projects. So we have our safety and hazard mitigation. We have a 6-pronged attack, collaboration across disciplines. We coordinate with local jurisdictions, standard maintenance protocols. We have SCADA for early warning system. We have 24/7 monitoring in Florida at our headquarters, as well as in India and Hyderabad. And training, we will make sure that everyone's trained prior to construction, first responders and fire volunteers as well. We have an emergency response plan that we're coordinating with the emergency management coordinator. And we also have fire suppression, and we'll get with the local fire department in that area, the district, and talk about water tanks associated with not just fires for us, but in the general area.
You have not had those conversations.
We've had some. With this was serious, we talked, it was 2024. We've talked with them. Yep. And they basically told us to wait until the project's approved, and then we can come up with a plan.
Got it.
And I do want to make this back and forth. If you guys have any questions, feel free. I'm trying to get through. I know you guys have a preset timeline.
Thank you.
Next slide, please. The general battery energy storage system. And when you hear that term BESS, that's what we're referring to. Typically it's a container. It can be 40 feet long, 20 feet long, up to 10 feet tall. They look like a shipping container, right? The new technology now is pretty incredible. They store the battery racks inside. Every battery cell is tested to confirm that it works. When we have, along with that, we have the converter systems, the inverters, which convert the power from DC to AC once it goes from the panels into the grid. Next system. Next slide, please. And then finally, our fire code and safety. Just an overview. We have a 4-pronged attack with this one, but literally we have inherent design features associated with these. We have alarm and notification, right? We have that monitoring 24/7. We have active fire control systems within the containers. And then there's some other, we're calling other, right? So from thermal runaway protection, location, you've heard of battery issues in the past for these. You don't hear about them anymore because number one, we follow newer codes, right? The NFPA codes as well as IFC, which require certain things. Like one of the things, they used to stack some of those batteries. They don't do that anymore, right? They keep them separated with a concrete pad. So in case anything ever happens, it would be separated. What you find too is that some of these areas become, these projects become buffers for fires, right? Because literally it's surrounded by road, right? By rock roads that create a fire buffer for some of these areas. They have gas detection, smoke detection, fire control, suppression. We have ventilation that we can control as well. But the big one is vegetation control, right? So we're managing the vegetation underneath because in this area, solar farms and batteries act almost like a snow fence, right? When it snows and it's windy, the snow will accumulate underneath, which means when it melts, you get vegetation, right? You're gonna get a lot more vegetation. You get on average 20 to 30% more vegetation underneath these panels. So it's almost like a CRP. You're putting the land in CRP, right? You get better growth underneath, better vegetation, deeper roots. So we need to manage that, right? Whether it's with mechanical or with sheep, right? So any questions?
Finished?
What's that?
Are you finished with the?
Oh, this is the basic. This is the
Okay.
basic. I'm gonna get to serious next, but this is our basic overview of our company.
No, I think to your point earlier about our timeline, I think we'll just wait until after If
Okay.
you guys want to ask questions, obviously anytime, go ahead, but we'll save, I think, the bulk of the questions until you're out,
Yeah.
until you're
I only
done.
have about 4 or 5 more slides
Okay.
to go through the project. Next slide. All right, this is serious. This is serious.
Not quite as green.
Yeah, right.
Not a river running through
That's
it.
right. Yeah, there's no river and no big trees. Next slide, please. Sirius Solar is located approximately 21 miles east-northeast of the city of Pueblo. We're looking at, like you said earlier, 150 megawatt AC, 75 megawatt battery system, so 225 megawatt project on just under 970 acres of private land. We're going to connect to the 230 kV, the Boone Midway PSCO line. We're looking at operation COD by Q4 2029. That's the hope, with a 35-year operational life. And the proposed project is in A1 zoning, agricultural zoning. And then on this one, you can see the haul route coming off Highway 96 from the south off of Boone Road, just east of Boone. Next question, next slide. Here's a blow up of the layout. Right now, it's the blue and the orange. The only difference is the type of racking, so that's an internal differentiator. But you can see the transmission line on the west side going northwest, southeast. You can see the interconnect, the substation, the switchyard, and the BESS area. Our access is on that east side on Boone Road. And that blue line, hatch line going right across is the wildlife corridor that we coordinated with CPW on. And I'll go into that in a little bit. Any questions on this?
And you've worked with CPW
Oh, yeah.
on that wildlife corridor?
Yes, sir.
And that's satisfactory to their?
Yeah, I'll talk about that here in a little bit. I've got a whole discussion on that as well.
Okay.
Next slide. One of the issues out here, we heard loud and clear from our community meeting, was that the soil out there is pretty erosive and erodible and sandy. And we're going to do everything we can to maintain the existing vegetation out there. So we're going to be using several different BMPs, best management practices, for these types of soils. And I know that there is a COA potentially for this, for a bond per acre of disturbance. And we do agree to that, right? So that'll incentivize us to do the best job possible, right? But we're expecting impacts to be temporary and localized. We'll do section by section as we're doing construction. Just depends, we're going to do a geotechnical study to give us a better idea of what to expect with the soil and how to manage some of that. But we're hoping, we're going to ensure, right? I mean, that the impacts are short term and localized. We've seen some of the pictures of what happened when it is tilled, and that is, we're going to avoid grading as much as possible in these areas. The only places where we're going to do grading will be roads, and then we'll put geotextile and rocks down as quick as possible. And then the battery site and the substation site will be graded as well. But again, it'll be either concrete or rock. Long-term impacts expected to be pretty minimal because, as I said, it's almost like this land will be turned into a CRP land, right? It'll get to grow. It'll get to, you'll get a lot more moisture and precipitation under the panels. You get 20 to 30% more growth underneath, and it's going to be good for the soil, I think, to stabilize. Next. Key highlights, traffic study. Traffic study done by Tetra Tech showed pretty minor impacts. CDOT recommended that they put in a no passing a lane sign on eastbound 96. And we're good with that. I think that's fair. The big traffic would occur during construction, as we know. We're expecting 12 to 18 months for construction of this project. And there's really going to be like a 3 to 6 month time frame when the traffic will be bad, when we're bringing in panels and racking and whatnot. And then after that, you're going to have the construction crew coming in on smaller vehicles. And then after construction, after COD, you're going to have, we're expecting, 2 to 4 people working on this full time and pretty minimal change in traffic patterns. And the final haul route, we'll sign a road use agreement with the county to get that finalized. We are expecting 200 to 250 jobs, construction jobs on this project. And we have to go out with our EPC. They will bring in some people who are technically capable on a lot of these projects. But we did sign a commitment to Leona. We want to keep it as local as possible. In fact, we're working trying to coordinate with Catlin with Pueblo Community College. And over there, we're working with him to see if there can't be some kind of feeder system into this. Because one of the things that he was saying is that there's no the people that are going into their, like welding and whatnot, we need that. We need that. And some of the people tend to leave because a lot of these jobs, are far away, right? But if we can go and say, hey, we've got a couple of years of work right here, people would be more interested in taking these jobs, right? So if we can work with him in job fairs and whatnot, but we're working with Jose as well. We signed that yesterday. And we want to work with him is get as many people as possible local. It's what we do in most of our projects anyways. We hire local as well. The decommissioning, and we're 20 million in tax revenue is what we're predicting currently over the course of 35 years. So it's what, $750,000 a year. Decommissioning and reclamation plan. Yeah, we're estimating about 20 million. To put into a bond, and I think it's a surety bond. It depends on how you guys want to do it. But we'll work with you on that, and with a reclamation bond equal to 115% of that. So in CPW, yeah, we worked with them from the beginning, and that corridor you saw through the middle, that was after maybe 6 months of deliberating with them. They did come back about 2 months ago and asked for another one. And a lot of it, when you're dealing with CPW, we're doing 6 or 7, maybe even 8 projects now in Colorado. They have a lot of turnover, and we've already created our site design and plan, and then they asked us for another one, a north to south corridor. So we're working on that. We committed to modifying some of the site plan to address that. But in terms of the environmental studies, not much was out there. There are no wetlands, so it's a pretty good spot for a solar farm. Next slide. And then just to end it on the project schedule, right now we're in project development, obviously. We're hoping to start NTP, notice to proceed, Q2 28. We're waiting on the interconnect study, which with Piesco, I think we're expecting something, an RFP is going out later this summer. So we're looking at 2028, Q2, with a COD of Q4 29. And I think that might be it. Next slide. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Well, so we have a process through this. So we'll ask anybody who is in favor of this presentation to come up and speak, and then we'll give an opportunity for anybody in opposition. Then we'll have discussion amongst the board and bring you back up for some questions.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here that would like to speak in favor of this project?
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Jose Soto. I am a lifelong resident of Pueblo County and a proud member of Leona Labor's Local 720. I appreciate the opportunity to speak today regarding the 1041 permit application for the SEAL and Sirius solar projects being developed by Infinity Global. I am appearing on behalf of the dedicated men and women of Leona Labor's Local 720 to express our strong support for these developments. And Xfinity Global Infinity Global, has demonstrated a clear commitment to constructing these projects using skilled labor from Pueblo and our surrounding Colorado communities. We are pleased to inform the Commission that Infinity Global has formalized this commitment by signing a memorandum of understanding to partner with Launa Local 720. This partnership ensures that the Seal and Sirius solar projects will provide local residents with high-quality employment, comprehensive training, and registered apprenticeship opportunities. By collaborating together, we can ensure the delivery of high-quality, safely constructed projects that provide the workforce with family-sustaining wages and critical healthcare benefits. We respectfully ask the Commission to approve the 1041 permits for the Seal and Sirius solar projects. We also want to commend Infinity Global for prioritizing a skilled local workforce and for their proactive engagement leading up to this hearing. Finally, we would like to thank Carmen Howard for facilitating our email introduction to the Infinity Global team, to the Board of County Commissioners. Thank you for your ongoing advocacy for safe, well-paying local jobs and expanding apprenticeship opportunities. This is exactly the kind of investment our community needs. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in favor of this project? Seeing none, is there anyone that would like to speak in opposition to this project? Okay. Seeing none, I would ask the applicant to come back up just for some questions, if you don't mind. Because I'm sure that we have some. You want me to start?
Sure. Fire
Okay,
away.
all right. So yeah, I think there's a lot of good that we heard with this, especially working with Launa. And I know that we've all had grief about the fact that so many solar projects here in Pueblo County have come in and brought in outside labor. And we've seen it. I mean,
Yeah.
I went to a restaurant prior to a concert with my wife, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago, and sat down, and a bunch of guys that were sitting there were from Texas working on solar and stuff. So it happens. We've tried to change our 1041 policy in a sense to with the reporting at least being closer to the beginning or earlier on in the process, so that we can see if all labor is coming in from out of state or even out of Pueblo County for that matter. So again, thank you for working with them on that. Because we need the jobs, and it makes more sense to keep those dollars local. This might be a silly question, but is there, and this is more probably
There are no silly questions.
industry, but is there do battery storage? Because I know that there's concerns with fire and everything else like that. But does anybody ever come up with drop doors, that battery storage is sitting on top of a trap door in essence? A fire starts, pop the doors, it drops, it's covered with dirt or anything?
So they're self-contained at this point, right? And so kind of like what I was describing before. So the batteries used to be stacked, right? Which created a lot of heat. So some of the new requirements actually require you to separate them. I remember it's 8-10 feet from each on a concrete pad, right? And so if you look at, so we were at a conference a few months ago, and they're showing us the new technology. And this technology is changing rapidly, right? The batteries and whatnot. And everything inside is self-contained. There's a batteries or a brain essentially for each capsule, right? Each container that keeps track of everything from the gases, the temperature, to if it senses anything wrong, it'll shut it down, right? Automatically, right? So it should never get to that part where there's a fire. And there hasn't been a fire in don't quote me, it's many years, right? Because of the new requirements for batteries. Because there was, I think it was either California or Arizona, there was a big fire maybe 10 years ago. Those really don't happen anymore. And is it 100%? Nothing's 100%, but it's probably in the 99% range.
And you're still going to work with local fire
Absolutely.
on that.
Absolutely.
I mean,
And the training,
Yeah.
that all goes into it because
Okay.
it's key. Because it used to be, we're going to put stuff on, we're going to, put extinguisher on it. Then it was, well, you're only going to put certain type of extinguisher on it. Now we're just gonna leave it alone because it just kind of melts inside the container.
Yeah.
And then we'll take the container and take it away.
Okay. Please keep us in the loop on working with CPW and that additional
oh yeah.
wildlife corridor, because I know that is a concern of not just Parks and Wildlife, but of
Yeah.
wildlife advocates and a lot of other people, because I know historically there have not been those implementations of wildlife corridors to the extent that there probably should have been, and it's basically made it inhabitable for animals. I mean, a lot of pronghorn are out there, a lot of other things. So please keep us in the loop on that.
Yeah, so we work on, I mean, we're probably working on at least, so total, we have, I think, about 45 projects that me and the team are working on right now. Most of them are out west. All of them have issues like this, right? With what every state's a little bit different. CPW was just inconsistent, right? And that's why we didn't have it in that literature. We have everything they asked for and more in our design. And then they came back again and said, well, can you add another one? And so, you know, we are space limited, but technology is changing so fast that with new panels, we might be able to adapt adjust a couple corridors to accommodate that. And we have been nothing but, I mean, we have, like, in Colorado, we have 8 projects, right? 7 or 8 projects. And we've done this for every one of them. And so we know them pretty well, CPW. We've worked with them quite a bit.
Thank you for that. Last question that I have is just, I know that haul route was mentioned and haul route improvements. I know that that's a big concern of residents here, is trucks beating up roads. Quite frankly, I mean, we passed a resolution on limiting and putting signs up and stuff, especially in front of schools. But quite frankly, we want to get all traffic almost off of 36 lane. That's not to deal with you guys, but I just would like to understand if you guys have the appetite to work with us on haul route improvements, to include Highway 50 and working with CDOT, because I mean, that is part of your haul route. And we need to really be collaborative. I'm talking with other solar developers, CDOT, a bunch of other people, to see what we can do. One, to get the traffic away from schools, period, but then also to keep and maintain, if not improve, those roads, because, you know, they were never designed to take that amount of abuse or that amount of traffic historically. So
100%. Yeah, we'll work with you guys on that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I appreciate
Right.
that.
You know, we're gonna have to do some upgrades potentially anyways, right? So just to
Yeah.
get up there and some of this equipment.
You're on the record too, by the way.
We'll work with you. Yeah. Well, no, we'll work with you. We have to.
All right.
Right?
Yeah,
We have to
appreciate
do
that.
a road use agreement with you anyways, right? So we'll include whatever we need to. Again, we want to be good neighbors, we want good partners, and want to be part of the community.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I think Commissioner Swearengin allayed some of my questions that I was going to ask you, so I'll limit mine to a couple observations. I do think it's really important to be engaged in the community that's out there and having those conversations with the residents that live there, because I do think fire is a big, huge concern for many of these locations. And I appreciate the presentation and the layout of how you plan to address that. And continuing to have conversations with the community, I think, is a really important key for a lot of these projects. This is the first one where I've seen a letter from LIUNA. That is unprecedented with most of our solar projects. So thank you for doing that extra work for them and for our community. We do want to see local labor involved in these projects. And in doing the calculation, 35 years and 20 million, correct?
20, yeah, for this project, 60 with seal.
Okay,
Correct.
okay, I was just clarifying because I saw
Yeah.
60 million and then I saw 20
Yeah.
million, so I just wanted to clarify that. That's tax revenue, that's important to us, of course. And then I just to note, because I looked at the map, and your next largest solar panel operations are Colorado, next to Texas. And that ought to say Texas is much bigger than Colorado. So your presence and footprint in Colorado is a much bigger presence than our neighbor in Texas. So I know you find value here, and especially Pueblo County, we're known for our sunshine. So we would just ask, again, as Commissioner Swearengin has alluded, when it comes to the roadways, when it comes to
the mitigation of fire, when it comes to citizen involvement. We have heard much in the space of solar that many in our community believe we have as much as we could possibly handle. So anytime we add a new project, it is something we have to think clearly about, because it does add to the burden of our community, saying, why do we have another one? You are managing yours in a way that I think is really hopeful to me, the way it should be managed when you talk about wildlife corridors and fire mitigation and battery storage, and a lot of it's education. So I would encourage you to continue to work with our community. And lastly, at the community college where I used to work, yes, I believe in workforce development, and I also believe the union can do that for us too with apprenticeships. So please continue in that work as well. The jobs of the future are really important in terms of training and education, and you guys do offer that opportunity. So continue to work in that space as well.
Absolutely.
Thank
We've
you.
already committed to that with Catlin and his team.
I know, Catlin. Thank you.
Sir, thanks for being here today.
Yeah,
I did
thank
just
you.
want to say this is a very well put together application. I think you guys have represented yourself very well, at least in the materials that I'm seeing. And I would also like to commend you for working with this gentleman, Mr. Soto. Anytime he comes in here talking about solar, it's usually not what we heard today.
Mhm.
So congratulations on moving him and being proactive in that engagement. And I think there is certainly opportunity to engage with other local labor unions that would be interested in talking to you guys. And we'd be happy to make those connections.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
One thing I wanted to ask that is not really going to sway my opinion of this application is this project moving forward contingent on how things shake out with the RFP in front of the PUC?
Yes, sir. It is.
Right.
And this is an Excel potential PSCO, right? So, but we have, we'll find out this summer, hopefully, right? When the RFP comes out and what the chances are.
Okay. Thank you very much. I don't believe I have any more questions for the applicant. I do want to have a conversation with my commissioners and our legal counsel and our planning director regarding reporting requirements as it pertains to the conditions. But as far as this application is concerned, I think I have everything I need.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, just again, just to wrap it up, did you want to have those questions prior to closing and voting on it?
I think we should.
Okay.
So I think this is the first major solar development that this board has seen. We approved I think it was 3 megawatt, tiny
Right.
solar development, nothing on this utility scale. So I think we have a real opportunity here to talk about when we make labor reporting requirements, a condition of these 1041s for these utility scale solar projects. I think we have an opportunity to kind of do better, because right now, all we have in here is, let me pull it up so I'm not misstating anything. We just have, upon commencement of construction, every 6 months, the applicant is required to report number of workers who are Pueblo County residents who have a primary residence within Pueblo County. And then number 2, the number of workers who are members of a labor union. I think these are good, but I think we can do better. As an example, I think, if we got a report back that said we have 100 Pueblo County workers at this site, sounds really great. There's 500 workers out there. It's not as meaningful. So we don't really know the denominator for any given project. So that's one thing I think we can improve.
We could just put a percentage of total workforce.
Well, yeah, requiring them to report the total workforce, I think would be a good step. I think our reporting cadence is a little too lenient. That right now we typically require, or in the past, I think we've required 6-month reporting. I think a 3-month reporting timeline would be more adequate. That's quarterly, for a construction project that's going to last 1 year. If we keep it under our current timeframe, we're only getting 2 reports during that construction period. So, we maybe not be able to take actions based on the data that we're seeing, because the project's already going to be close to closed out. So that would be another recommendation. So I have a few more, but I want to talk about what are our options as far as, I don't want to hold this up for the internal work that I believe the county needs to do as far as reporting requirements. Is there a way to approve this 1041 conditionally on the county getting into getting those specifics into our reporting requirement section? Or would we have to revisit the entire application next month in order to alter anything that's in the reporting requirements today?
I would really quick just ask the applicant, are you in opposition to either of those? As far as total workforce, how many of that total workforce are Pueblo County residents? And then going from biannual to quarterly reporting?
I would say a quarterly reporting is fine.
Yeah.
The total number, it will change during the course of the project, right?
Okay.
Because it depending on the specialization of the people that you need, our EPC, our engineering procurement construction company that we hire, they'll have some people that they bring with, right? And that number will be high during certain times, right? But when we're, in certain parts of construction, the local workforce will be pretty high.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, I would think that just a snapshot in time, and then if you're fine with the quarterly reporting, I mean, you can put a caveat in those numbers if need be, or like, this is the reason why this looks like it is because we're in this phase or something like that. But yeah, we understand that, and I know Jose understands that. It's just historically, it has not occurred to actually go out and pursue that local labor force to the extent that was kind of given to us, really. Would you be okay with that? Just the
Yeah,
quarterly
yeah,
and then
you bet.
take, and then the total number and then that snapshot, and then if.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
That'd be great.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
And commissioners, to Commissioner Lucero's point, we generally prefer not to amend conditions on the fly, so to speak. However, I think this is a fairly simple change that we can make in the conditions before it's signed off. So just as long as the motion includes those amended conditions or additional conditions, I think it's fine to move forward with
Yeah.
voting today. And we can certainly have a larger conversation, perhaps in like a work session with staff about
Can we?
amending the requirements of the code.
To implement that, like. across the
Correct,
board.
amending the code to include those amended requirements.
Okay. Can we amend, or can we approve the 1041 today, conditional on us deciding on final language for the requirements? And then do is there like an administrative approval process? Because we're doing cleanup on our end, as far as I'm concerned.
Right, I would recommend moving forward with just amending the conditions on this permit, not making it conditional on future changes to the code, because I don't believe we can condition it on code language that has yet to be written. However, as Commissioner Swearingen pointed out, if they're agreeable to including those conditions as a condition of approval of the permit, we can do that, but it would be just as written, as indicated in the motion to approve the permit, what the changes would be. They would have to be included.
So we can come back for some of those longer lasting implementations to the code itself.
Right.
Yeah.
I do have another 1041 coming to you next month, but I can work with the applicant to get that language in before whatever we, agree on
Yeah.
here.
That'll work. Good? Well,
I'm okay with it. I can live with it. I think it's a step in the right direction. And, I operating under the assumption, I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt in this case because of the proactive actions taken to work with the labor unions. So I'm good for today.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, just in general, seeing no opposition here, and this board has consistently in our planning department, building department, everybody else has tried to pursue that business friendly attitude. This is a business. I am a very firm believer in private property rights and people's ability to do, what they like on their land, obviously within the boundaries of the law, but to generate revenue and things like that. So, and I just bring this up because I hear it too. And quite frankly, I agree to an extent on our being inundated with solar, in this community. We all hear it, but, you know, where this is located, I'm very familiar out east. There's not a lot out there to potentially improve the land, to generate revenue. These are things that we have to consider. And so I think that this board has made a habit, and thankfully so, of looking at each individual project specifically to that project, and not, you know, putting a broad brush across things and really being analytical on each specific project. So yeah, I would agree with Miles that I applaud y'all for working with Lyuna and doing that community outreach, and then obviously the willingness to on the fly adjust in the reporting requirements. So we appreciate that very much. So okay, we will now close this hearing. And do I have a motion to approve 1041 permit SLI 24-9 with the amended conditions of quarterly reporting and the number of total employees, and then how many of those employees are Pueblo County residents?
I'll make a motion.
And I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, commissioners. The next agenda item is public hearing for 1041 permit SLI 24-11, also brought by Infinity Global LLC on behalf of EG Seal Solar Energy Facility LLC, requesting approval of a permit pursuant to Chapter 17.07 of the Pueblo County Unified Development Code, areas and activities of state and local interest for site selection and construction of a major facility of a public utility. For the EG Seal Solar Energy Facility. The project will consist of a 325 megawatt alternating current, 422.5 megawatt direct current utility scale solar photovoltaic facility, along with a 165 megawatt, 660 megawatt hour, learn something new every day, battery energy storage system on approximately 2,406 acres of privately owned land in an unincorporated Pueblo County. Project will interconnect with the regional transmission system via the tri-state generation transmission line between Comanche and Walsenburg substations. We'll begin by hearing any staff comments, if they would like to provide any, followed by presentation by the applicant, testimony by those in favor, and testimony by those in opposition. If there is any opposition testimony, the applicants will have an opportunity to give rebuttal testimony limited to issues raised by the opposition. Individual testimony is limited to 3 minutes per person. Finally, there will be a deliberation by the board. You may choose to keep the hearing open and continue it to a date, time, and place certain to receive further testimony and evidence. You may choose to close the hearing, take it under deliberation, and continue to a date, time, and place certain to render decision, or you may close the hearing, deliberate, and render decision today. For purposes of these hearings, the board is sitting in their quasi-judicial capacity, and as such are prohibited from obtaining evidence from either side outside of the public hearing process. Board must apply the standards and criteria in the Pueblo County Code to the facts presented at this hearing to arrive at a decision. Please limit testimony to information relevant to the permit before us. Commissioners, at this time, I'll request that the hearing be opened and that the staff report and any additional documents provided by staff be made part of the record. I'll also request, since we did have, in the interest of time, since we did have testimony in the hearing for SLI 24-9, also brought by Infinity Global, and the testimony that we heard in that case is relevant to this one as well. Again, in the interest of time, I'll ask that the presentation and testimony for SLI 24-9 be made part of the record of SLI 24-11 as well.
Thank you for that. We will open the hearing and accept the staff report and staff documents into the record of proceeding. And would staff like to make any additional comments?
No, thank you.
Thank you. And then if the applicant would like to come and present specifically on this, yeah, I'm assuming a lot of this will be pretty similar. I think you're probably going to get a lot of the same questions from us and or requests from us too. So
You got it. Well, thank you, commissioners, for taking the time to review our application. I'm Jack Pritchett, project developer with Infinity Global. I'm at 5468 East 111th Drive in Thornton, Colorado. And yes, to your point, I'm not going to go over Infinity and who we are again. Happy to if you need. We do have a presentation for the Seal Solar project. If you kept scrolling down on the initial presentation, it's the next slide. After the quote. There we go. Thank you, sir. All righty. We are Infinity Global. This is the Seal Solar project, and that is the project location here in Pueblo County. Next slide. So project description, Seal Solar project is a proposed 325 megawatt utility scale PV project with 165 megawatt battery energy storage system. It's proposed to be built on 2,400 acres of private land. It's approximately 11 miles southeast of the city of Pueblo. And our proposed interconnect is to the 230 kV Comanche Walsenburg transmission line owned by Tri-State. In the figure here, we do have our haul route in blue. So we would be coming off of St. Charles or off the highway onto St. Charles Road, down Doyle Road, down to Broadacre Road, AT&T Road, and then towards heading north towards the project site. And you can see also there is a proposed gen tie line from the southern portion of the project area to that 230 kV line, which is also on the same private landowner's land. Expected to be operational by Q2 of 2030 with a 35-year operational life, and the project is within agricultural zoning. Next slide. Okay, high-level overview of the project layout. Similar to the last one, we have conducted various studies from culturals to environmental studies, wetland studies. There are no wetlands present on the project, but there are drainages that run through the project, and you can see those green areas where we are avoiding those drainages to allow for water flow. We've also worked with CPW, Commissioner Swearingen. I appreciate your concern on the wildlife. I'm a hunter, I'm a fisher. I think those are extremely important. And working with CPW, we've also included that wildlife corridor there. They have requested, as of a few months ago, a wider wildlife corridor, which we've submitted a commitment letter to do that as well. And then you can also see the project substation, utility switchyard, and BESS area there to the southwest corner of the project area. Next slide. Similar to the Sirius project, our stormwater erosion and dust control, we will apply BMP's best management practices within our stormwater management plan to address any temporary or long-term impacts associated with construction and operation. Our construction impacts are expected to be temporary and localized. Dust mitigation will be managed, including watering, vehicle speed limits, suspension of work during high wind conditions. And our long-term operational impacts are expected to be minimal. Again, there is minimal grading within these project sites to ensure the native grasses continue to grow, and any areas that are disturbed will be stabilized and reclaimed when needed. Next slide. So some key project highlights. Our traffic study finds that there were really minor traffic impacts. Again, the major component of traffic during these projects is during that construction timeframe. We will continue to finalize the haul routes through that road use agreement with the county prior to the construction. We are expected to bring an investment of approximately $550 million to the county, expected to generate about 250 to 300 construction jobs. Again, working closely with LIUNA and Jose Soto, as well as local subcontractors where available. Over its operational life, we're expected to bring in approximately $40 million in property tax revenue for Pueblo County. We do have a decommissioning reclamation plan that has been submitted with an estimated cost of 47.3 million. And similar to the Sirius project, we will submit a finalized decommissioning plan and a reclamation bond equal to 115% of the estimated costs. And again, Seal Solar, we have consulted with CPW. We've had numerous meetings with them. We've actually had an on-site meeting with them in April of 2024. We walked through, they had some concerns with some high priority habitat that was intersecting, and we worked with them. That's where we put that migration corridor. There's a aquatic native species conservation water, high priority habitat in that area as well. So we're completely avoiding that. And we've presented our project layout to them, and other than widening the corridor, they felt good about what we've been doing with them. So next slide. And then our project schedule. So currently in that project development, with our construction and commissioning, ideally in Q2 of 2028 and an anticipated COD of Q2 2030. That's it.
Cool.
Happy to answer any questions.
We'll just go through the process as we did previously. So I'll ask if there's anyone in favor of this project that would like to speak.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jose Soto. Just my comments from earlier, they were addressed towards the Seal and Sirius Solar projects. If we could just apply those in the interest of time, I would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I just want to take this as an opportunity to just to highlight how significant this is. You've mentioned it a couple of times, Chair, and the rest of the commissioners, how we haven't got there yet. And this is a real opportunity to invest into the local workforce and build out that workforce and give them an opportunity to not only work here at home, but to help sharpen and strengthen their skills and create a pathway. So thank you. I'm excited. I think it's a huge milestone, and we're just looking forward for the opportunity to continue to work with Infinity and their selected EPC as we, help them build out these projects.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in favor of this project? Seeing none, is there anyone here that would like to speak in opposition to this project? Seeing none. I think that, do you guys want to have some conversation and or questions for the applicant now, and then we'll just close it and vote on it? I can just, like I said before you came up here, you're going to get the same requests from us. One on the reporting, and then two, the keeping us updated on CPW and those conversations, and then also the road improvements, haul route improvements. And again, just confirming with us that there is at least an appetite to be willing to have those conversations on road improvements.
Certainly, yes.
Okay, appreciate that. And to your earlier point, yeah, I mean, and Jose's point, like it's our opportunity here to set a precedent on utility scale solar projects and what we want to do, what we want to see moving forward. So really good to have such a willing applicant to start this and set us on the right path for success to best benefit this community, because it's a good amount of money generated here, the jobs, that economic injection to this county is much needed. And so if you are committing to doing those things that we spoke about, that's good. You guys got anything else?
Just wanted, I forgot the timeline for both projects. If they're both approved and things work out with the RFP, is it going to be concurrent construction for these projects, or does one follow the other?
So it would be, the Seal project is Q2 of 2030. And it's also ends up being based on the interconnection timeframe too.
Okay.
And 29 on the first project?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think I'm good.
I don't have any other questions.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank
you.
Thank you. We'll now close the hearing. You guys got anything else? Good? Okay, I will ask for a motion to approve to approve the 1041 permit SLI 24-11 with the amended reporting of quarterly and the total employees out there, and then the number of those employees that are Pueblo County residents.
And Commissioner, the number of workers who are members of a labor union, which currently exists
Right.
as a reporting requirement. I will second them, or I will make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you all very much for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. You take a minute? We can run right into land use violations, Ms. Day.
Okay. Commissioners, the next item is resolution for zoning violation, case number VZ 24-105, EC Martinez Investments LLC, property owners at 2021 Santa Fe Drive in Pueblo, Colorado. And I believe Mr. Zant is here to present on that item.
Good morning, Commissioners. Timothy Zant,
Morning.
Pueblo County Planning and Development. Thanks. I only have one case to present to you here this morning. It's going to be VZ 24-105. This is a complaint we received back in September of 2024. The complaint indicated a fishing game business at the location. Although this is kind of common terminology, public terminology, often referred to as fishing games, the county would look at this as more of an amusement type facility or an arcade type facility by definition. This type of a business would require a special use permit at that location. Go ahead with the next slide. Okay, on the same day, we were able to verify the complaint and confirm that there was a business established there at the location that did not have a special use permit. We went ahead and, well, before I jump into the notice of violation here, something to remember, this was one of our complaints that had been submitted prior to the adoption of the Pueblo County Unified Development Code. Under the old code, this would have been a B4 zone district with an amusement facility by definition. Under the new code is the CC Community Commercial Zone District, which would define this as more of a gaming arcade. In either instance, it would still require a special use permit. So that's something that I wanted to make known, that regardless of the kind of the adoption of the new code, didn't change anything as far as the requirement for that special use permit. We did go ahead and send out a notice of violation to the property owner. And go ahead with the next slide. In October 2024, after receiving that notice of violation, the property owner did come in. They had a meeting with us. We're advised of how to bring that property into compliance, spoke about the procedures on how to get that special use permit going, how to start with that process. I'm not really sure how I could comment on how that meeting went, but in the following months, there was no effort by that property owner to pursue that special use permit or to bring that property into compliance. This went on for some time, and we ended up sending additional notices of violation out there, trying to get a hold of that owner, say, come back and let's get this property into compliance. That never happened. We ended up verifying that the business is still operating as of today. Something that I would mention is that the tenant of this business, this is the property owner and then a tenant operating that business. The tenant did reach out to us here in the last couple of months to try to ask how can we get this kind of squared away. Unfortunately, this is a special use permit situation where the owner would have to come into compliance to bring that property as the special use permit. It goes with the property, not with the business. So we did respond to that and let that tenant know where the county stood on that and how to go about that. Really, it's kind of cut and dry. I don't have anything else for you unless you have questions about this particular case. These types of businesses do generate quite a bit of concern in the community. We've personally heard quite a bit of concern from the constituents, and I know the commissioners have also heard quite a bit of concern regarding the businesses and how they operate.
Have there been follow-on conversations with the new tenant besides that one?
I'm sorry, I missed the first part.
Have there been follow-on conversations with the new tenant? You said that they came in and then you advised them.
I believe
that,
it's
hey,
a
special use.
Right. I believe it's the same tenant that operated the whole time. I don't think the tenancy has really changed as far as the business operator. But we advised them of what that situation was. I haven't heard anything back as far as whether or not they were able to speak with the owner or whether or not they were able to work with that owner towards bringing that property towards us. We still haven't heard anything from the property owner.
Yeah.
Mr. Zant, can I just ask, if you had the meeting with them in late 2024, what happened in 2025? Was there any correspondence between the applicant? You said continued issuances of notice of violation. Is that?
That's
How many
correct.
notices of violation?
We sent out the typical three. We sent out the original, which was in September 2024, or it ended up being received sometime in October. But we sent out a second one, which is a second 30-day notice, and the final notice. During 2025, we monitored that property and did send out that second notice of violation, made sure the property was still operating, but no, we received no other correspondence from the property owner during that time.
And you said today that is a CC
Yes, sir.
zoning type? Okay.
And looking at the documents, it was noted that even the sign was unpermitted that was on the building, correct?
That's correct. If the business were properly established, the signage would have been something that would have been addressed at that time.
Thank you.
So we are seeking this as strictly a zoning violation. This has nothing to do with whether or not what's happening in that building is legal or illegal. It's the fact that even if it were a legal activity happening in that building, our code requires that legal activity to have a special use permit in this zone type. So this is strictly attacking this from a zoning standpoint. Okay. Yeah, thanks for putting this together. You're correct that this has been a big concern in the community. So this is, I think we have to attack it from every angle, and I'm glad we're to this point with this specific property.
Yes, sir. And with that, we have had some compliance with other businesses, but this one in particular, we have not.
Yeah. I mean, to your point, we all hear it, and this has to be a multi-faceted approach to these, because we all struggle. We've had plenty of meetings, district attorney, sheriff, law enforcement general, to try and find a solution to this. And quite frankly, we need our legislative body up north to help us with this, as well. So, but with the tools that we have, I think that this is the best route that we can go.
I would agree.
Yeah. Do we need a motion then and an approval to just file the zoning violation?
It's a resolution directing the county attorney to institute legal action to
Okay.
enforce.
I will ask for a motion to
Approve the resolution.
approve the resolution as Marcy so eloquently just said it.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on the amended resolution, we have item number 5 is 1041 permit Fonzie Energy Gentai, case number FONS-26-1, Jennifer Kraus, 4875 to 5099 MacArthur Road, Avondale, Colorado. Commissioners, this is a discussion item for Fonzie determination. Fonzie determination is a finding of no significant impact. This is an administrative determination made by our planning and zoning director as the zoning official, for a finding of no significant impact. This is for an interconnection to a solar project facility to the existing electrical grid via Gentai line, which operates at 115 kilovolts, anticipated to consist of overhead construction and traverses private property in state of Colorado lands and unincorporated Pueblo County. So again, commissioners, this is not a decision item for the board, but we do, as a general practice, bring these Fonzies to the board just so you're aware that this determination was made by the zoning administrator, in case you have any questions about it, or in case anybody approaches you about the projects. I'll turn it over to Carmen and let her make any comments she would like to.
Thank you. I did try to get those dates right this time. So I think we're in the right
Appreciate that.
time period there. This is essentially a component of the Honors Energy solar project in order to connect to the grid. They need to tie into it with a Gentai transmission line. And so typically when we bring the 1041s here for you, the solar developers don't always know where that Gentai needs to be placed. So then we ask them to come back later when they have that path. And then we bring it forward to you and Afonso, if that is the correct way to deal with it. And we believe that that is the case with this particular Gentai.
Very minimally populated. I don't even know if I'm able to identify a single residential property adjacent to this proposed.
It's remote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Carmen. I appreciate this, and I have no issue with this, and would not be of the opinion that we need to call this one up.
Yeah, same.
I support it as well.
Okay, commissioners, there's no formal action required on that one, so we can move to the next item on the agenda, which is presentation by Director Howard on the building division.
We'll make it real quick.
Okay,
Thank you. Anthony, you got those? And I'm going to have Arnold do most of this. I just wanted to give you some updated numbers to start, and then he can give his piece. Next slide, please. Just contact information and hours of operation. Next slide, please. So our TAC meetings are now going to be held just on an as needed basis when we need to get some feedback from the TAC or want to make sure to include them in what we're doing. Everything has been going very smooth. So therefore we have put that meeting on an as needed basis. We have established our building board of review. We did have our first meeting April 15th. Our second meeting is next week. Charlie Montero has been elected chair, Steve Gerardo vice chair. We'll be working on new codes at our next meeting. Meetings will be held on the third Wednesday of the month, and as soon as we get through the codes, they will also be on an as needed basis. I think our new model was well received with the group, so really excited about that. These are our numbers regarding revenue and numbers of permits. As of last night, we have taken in $627,198 in revenue through the building department. Next slide, please. Startup costs, $273,923. The difference here is there were a few more IT related costs that I included in the startup cost field that have just recently shown up. So that number did increase. Next slide, please. Back up, you bet.
So when you say startup, is this going back to 2025 and all of the effort to literally start up the building division, or is this from January?
This is prior to.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually the number that the 30,000 for the Blitz AI grant match is the one that that changed this number. I included in
Okay.
the startup versus an operational.
Okay.
Next slide, please.
Thank you, ma'am.
Salaries, Express Pro, of course, those are our big costs. And then professional service contract and operating related supplies get us to about 325,860 operational costs to date. We don't have the vehicles in here or anything yet. This is essentially the line items that you see on the left there. So what we got going on, Blitz AI plan check, we are going to be going live with that at the beginning of June. We're excited about that. We're currently in testing phase with Blitz. We're going to be working on getting some more funding for equipment and outreach marketing supplies at the end of May. We're working with Sarah Skinner on that. And then I'm going to turn it over to Arnold.
Oh, good morning, commissioners. It's been a while since we gave an update. So currently the building division is actively working with sheriff's department and fire departments along with Colorado City Metro Board. We're up to 22 current records of callouts and complaints. These range from structure fires, illegal grows, and housing issues. I'll give you an example. We were out on a illegal grow on Pope Valley Ranch. West Park was a structure fire, and Applewood Drive was a housing issue that we worked real close with Colorado City Metro on, and Rye Fire and Sheriff's Department. I'm just gonna make this real quick for you guys because of time. Inspections to date are 3,304 inspections and 276 transitional permits through PRBD has been completed. Got many more to go, but that's where we stand today. We've scheduled a meeting with an outreach with Meet the New Building Division. That's coming in July. It's sponsored by Home Builders Association members. And one in particular is Cut Above Construction is real excited to get the word out and have our staff. And I'd like to invite each one of you to please participate with us. I've got 3 different dates. July 8th would be a morning, coffee and pastries provided from 7:30 to 9 o'clock in the morning. July 17th will be 11:30 to 1. That's lunch at Cat's Poorhouse. That's a feed lunch. I mean, if whoever wants to go to that, they have to buy their own lunch. July 22nd, it's 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Cat's Poorhouse, and we'll have dinner stuff available in the back. And as Director Carmen has mentioned, we're working on code adoptions right now with the 2024. I have a draft that I need to get out to Marcy to start reviewing, but I think she's gonna be real pleased with this one compared to the last one. You know, helps her out. We've been working with Shauna Mozingo with the Norsco, I think that's how you say that company name, but out of Denver. She currently serves on the board of directors, Region 11 with International Code Council, and funded by the state of Colorado to help jurisdictions adopt codes. Currently, she's adopted, or she's helped 70 jurisdictions adopt codes, and we're going to be one of them. So working with her, I've known her for over 20 years, so she's really good at what she does, real informative. We will be going over the code adoptions with the Board of Review next Wednesday. So please fill in or feel free to log in on that and you can hear the whole spew at that point. I did send an email out ahead of time to different people so they can review. Today we'll go out to all the Board of Review members. And what else are we doing here? Also, we've scheduled a meeting on Thursday, the 21st, with the fire districts for their adoption of the 2024 International Fire Code as well. And we're doing all this because of the state mandates. Okay, state mandates, you know, with the low energy carbon code and the solar EV and ready codes, and the international energy code. Those are the big issues that's happening in our community. So I'll give you guys updates as we after we talk to the Board of Review, because it's still have to have discussions with them if we need to amend some more, or you know, at their pleasure, we'll sure have them discussions. After that, we will be presenting to the Home Builders Association and the General Contractors Association as well.
Arnold, can you please remind me the next Board of Review meeting where you'll bring up those code change proposals?
I'm sorry?
Can you tell me the date and time of the next Board of Review meeting?
Yeah, it's Wednesday, the 20th, I believe at 11:30 in the afternoon.
And that'll
At-
be at GSC, sorry.
Right, yes,
At what time?
11:30.
Okay. And then the third Wednesday after that, as needed after we get through code. Right? Yeah.
Correct.
Can you talk to us, sir, about staffing and how you're doing balancing county staff and temporary staff, or, you know, express staff? Do you consider any of those express staff full-time currently? Do you have that much workload still?
I do. I have currently 2 express employees that we're using as full-time employees. One is a mechanical inspector, which we're working with to get that position filled. So that's a little process that we're working on with Director Howard.
That's, the job is currently being created with Patsy's group.
Okay.
And then we intend on filling them with our contractors through the correct HR policies and
Do we not already have a mechanical inspector job description? Don't we have one on staff?
no, we don't. We have combination inspectors.
Thank you.
This is a new job description, and it pertains to mechanical, electrical, and plumbing
Okay.
inspectors.
Thank you. Forgot about our combo inspectors.
Yeah.
And then the second express employee that we're using full-time is an electrical inspector, and he's dedicated for the solar fields.
Okay.
So it's quite a bit of solar going on, so that's.
Get caught up on your roof inspections? Now that you have.
All the
you have a
above.
truck?
He's also filling in on electrical inspections in the community. as
No, I
well.
was just giving you a hard time asking if you got caught up on your roof inspections. Because you have a ladder,
Not yet,
you know, a truck
not
that can
yet.
carry a ladder.
We haven't received the pickups yet, so
Okay.
they're scheduled here soon. As soon as the gas carts come in, is what I understand.
Thank you to our facilities and working that out with fleet to get you the trucks you need. We had those internal, just so everybody knows, we were able to move resources around to help you with that. One question I had on the July 8th coffee, where is that going to be located?
That's at the Pueblo West Chamber.
Pueblo West Chamber, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for making us aware of those meet and greets that you're doing with the community. I think it's important that you guys are out there saying, meet the department. I continue to applaud you for always being engaged and having that attitude of being where the contractors and the citizens are. So thank you for making that public, and I'm definitely going to update my calendar with all the events.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. And you guys alluded to the vehicle deal. Been talking with y'all on that. So just please keep us in the loop on those needs. And yeah, to your point, I mean, even having that meeting with the Realtors Association, I mean, there were some eyes opened. I mean, there's still some misinformation, if you will, out there. And I didn't feel like anybody walked away from there being displeased at all. And in fact, the opposite of people being happy, quite frankly, with how we're conducting business. In essence, you're looking between revenue and your startup costs and operating costs operating in the black by just sub 30K. Right.
And that's
Rough
including
math.
startup
Yeah,
costs.
right.
So
That's
Right.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I know you're doing a lot of work on those permits that came over from the old building department that you're now having to monitor and do. And that came with nothing. That came with just, nope, the permit was given, but we are doing the work. So that's something else to think about when you look at the work that's being done. You're doing more than what was paid permit. You're doing beyond that. And so that's applaudable. And Arnold, to go back to something you mentioned earlier with Colorado City, the work you're doing up there with the violations that continue to happen with properties and having a visibility there, I think that's been really important to the Colorado City Metro. I've heard some positive things, and I appreciate you as a building official coming in and making those calls when you see them with properties that are not in compliance with what should be appropriate. So to you and Carmen, thank you for helping the Pueblo City Metro, Colorado City Metro get more information and also know what to do to help their residents up there.
I do want to mention one thing. One of the factors that has contributed to our ability to get this stood up and operational here within a reasonable amount of money is because we're cross-training and we're not working in silos within the department. Everyone pitches in throughout the department. It doesn't matter what division you belong to, and that's made us a lot more effective than if we were operating otherwise.
That's great.
Yeah. yeah, again, it's one of the only complimentary things that I hear, is you all out there, and doing that work. So, we certainly appreciate it. And, yeah, just let us know how we can be supportive. Still looking at giving you some privacy, Arnold, in that building, and some cost-effective alternatives to getting that done. So I
Drywall,
haven't
right?
forgotten about that.
What?
Is it
But you
primarily?
gotta move. I
wall.
think it's sprinkling system too, right?
Oh.
Is the biggest cost?
No,
No?
no, it's just putting the walls up. We
Just-
actually, we
But-
found out we don't actually have to do the bid process through it because the dollar amount is
Okay.
minimal. So we got 3 quotes. And we're working with Mick to
Okay.
get that going.
Okay, good.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah, again, let us know where we can
Not Mick, Terry.
be of help.
Yeah, I'll just add one more thing here. The building division is starting to work with, Tim and his group over there as well. So hopefully we can help that situation,
Great.
so we're gonna start working on that as well, as soon as we can meet together and get a procedure.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's part of Marcy's, presentation. And again, as we were even speaking about the fishing game stuff earlier, like we got to use the tools that we have available to us. And to your point, Carmen, that makes it makes it a necessity to be cooperative within all departments and working together to achieve that. So appreciate it.
Job, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Johnny Cash over there. He's wearing all black, in case somebody didn't see that. Appreciate it. That'll bring us into commissioner comments. First, you guys go.
I'll jump in. I just wanted to quickly thank GCC, the cement factory south of town. I went out there yesterday and toured that facility, and I have to admit, I knew almost nothing about it. I think it's yet another one of Pueblo's hidden gems, but they're huge and they're looking to expand. They have a lot of high-paying jobs, a lot of great economic benefit to this community. So I just wanted to thank that staff for taking the time to show me around and teach me more about all the great things they have going on out there. And that's it for me. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. I look forward to doing a tour. I got the call, so I'll be looking forward to doing that. I don't have much on my agenda, but just to mention again, tomorrow we have a couple events in our community. The honoring our fallen police officer memorial event will occur at the Riverwalk. And then after that, we've got the Legacy and Legends Luncheon for those in our community that are centenarians, 100 years, 98 and above. Let me say that. That should be a great event out at St. Joseph's Hall. So a great way to end the week. And that's all I have.
Yeah, I mean, good events going on, and I too look forward to going out and touring that plant because have had the invite. Just again, and then the fallen officer ceremony at the Riverwalk tomorrow at 9. I'll be speaking tomorrow night at the Pueblo Community College Law Enforcement Academy graduation, welcoming new officers to our own sheriff's office and other area agencies. So look forward to that. We had the Homelessness Advisory Commission meeting yesterday, which was very interesting. Had some folks come in and speak on some of the psychedelic recovery processes and things. And there's some legislation here currently in the state making its way through. And so it was good to bring forward almost every alternative that there is to get folks help out there. So wanted to thank them for coming in and thank all the participants yesterday. And then last thing I've got is just wanted to give a shout out to Flight for Life and our search and rescue volunteers. Yesterday, I was right out in front of the courthouse in the evening, and Flight for Life came and touched down right over at Emergency Services Center, and saw some people out there. So instructing people on how to approach helicopters. I've done a lot of that in my life, and And you have to keep some things in mind because there's some propellers spinning above your head and some other things. So it's good to get those folks that experience, and just wanted to say thank you to all of them for not just that, but being part of that search and rescue team. Other than that, have a good weekend, and looks like we're going to have some good weather. And so get out and look again at, all of the different amenities and all of the different events that we have going on in Pueblo, especially during this time of year when before it's 110 degrees outside. Thank you all. Our next land use meeting will be June 11th. I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned. Are you chuckling back there, Greg?
found it. And now they have it at the front desk, so I'm going up to Denver
Test,
for
test.
that Concilia thing tonight, so I gotta stop by the arena. and get your thing out as well.
What arena is it?
Third Itch. It's over in Memorial Park.
Make them bigger, Anthony. Well, just make them bigger. Oh, it's because
Yeah, Third Itch
your
is
mic
like
is
that.
muted.
Uh-huh. It's like from the
Mic test.
70s, maybe.
Test, test.
It has them on both sides, but usually people only sit on one side because one side is like nicer than.
Yeah.
I think that's. How many rings do they have up there?
Can you, you
Ooh,
could
they
even
have
like
quite a few.
stretch that little window up so you can see more of it. You know, it might be worth just doing that. Cause if
That won't go live.
that won't go live, okay,
Oh,
okay.
Basically.
Uh-huh.
There's down.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yep. Scored fish. Nope, see, scored fish. Wrong. Doesn't do anything.
Ready.
Yes. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the BOCC work session and staff update meeting. Today's date is May the 14th and the time is 10:48 a.m. We will take attendance beginning with Ms. Mitchell.
Cynthia Mitchell, County Attorney.
Paula McFeeters.
Zach Swearingen.
Miles Lucero.
Thank you to everybody else in attendance. I have one caveat, and that is just to thank Public Works and our directors back there just for the work that they were able to do out at PMI. Heard some really good things so far about it, and just utilizing some of our equipment and to benefit the community as a whole. So thank you guys, appreciate that. First up, we have operational updates. Do we have any operational updates?
I have something to bring forward where staff is asking for direction from the board, and I think this is probably the easiest way to get direction. So Tammy Torres, our Director of Human Resources, has mentioned to us that they're about $50,000 short on their the Rect Install program, where they install coolers in residential homes. Tammy is asking to use some of the salary savings that they've experienced based on the hiring freeze that we've implemented to fund the remaining $52,277 to complete that program for this, for the program year, which ends in June. She says that this would not have any effect on the general fund. This would be moving around dollars within her fund, within the Human Services Fund 204. So I would be in favor of her doing that, knowing that it wouldn't impact the budget. She also mentions that this does not have any impact on her fund balances, so she's not dipping into fund balance to do this. She feels confident that she has the dollars available to fund this program for the rest of the program year. So I just wanted to get consensus from the board to give her direction on that, so that we didn't have to drag it into next week while she's waiting for us.
Okay. Would those dollars come back to general fund if not allocated, or what would happen if they didn't get used for it, you know?
Well, so it's not general fund, it's
Right.
just within her DHS fund. So if the dollars don't get used for this program, I don't believe that she has an anticipated use for them. Their salary savings based on, again, lapse in positions being filled for the hiring freeze. So these dollars would ostensibly just revert into her fund balance should they not be spent on something else through the remainder of the year.
Okay, and stay within DHS. Yeah, I'm okay, and I mean, again, we've said it 100 times, if not more, about the funding mechanism of how DHS is different from the rest of the county in the way that it is funded. And we've all shared the same opinion of it hurts our community if we don't utilize as much DHS dollars as possible because of that 80-20 split between the state, because somebody's going to spend it. And we, in my opinion, deserve it more than anybody else. So.
Our CFO is sitting in the back of the room. I want to give you the opportunity, sir, to give any comment that you might have on this specific item.
Yeah, I think everything I've heard so far sounds reasonable. In this situation, I think they have all of the equipment that they had planned for the year and they fell short some of their installation dollars. So, and where they have balance available, it probably should be used to go ahead and install the equipment that they've agreed to purchase. They have been into their fund balance over the last couple of years. It has declined. There's not, it's not a lot. They're probably, could build a balance at some point. So you still want to be careful, even within DHS. But this one, I think, they can manage this.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. Do you feel a need for any further formal presentation from Director Torres on this one, or are we good to give her the green light and she can handle it?
52?
52,227, yes, sir. 52,277.
I'm good. I mean, it is for implementation sooner than later, I think, is probably what Tammy is looking for, right?
Yeah, and that's why I'd like to give her the direction. And then if we do need to do something formal, as far as your budget process, is this, if and when we do a budget amendment, does this need to be included, or is it small enough where?
She had this budget within her fund and cost centers, so it could just be reallocated amongst the lines. I don't think it takes a board action necessarily. The rest of the county, we did ask that no one use, salary savings, vacancy savings. We still have a gap to fill. So we still want, formal approval if we're going to use budget outside of the budgeted line, or at least the salary lines for sure.
Yes, sir.
We don't have a formal process, but you should consider that. But as far as this goes, I don't think it requires action.
Thank you. Yeah, and just to reiterate that, we don't want to have the practice of using salary savings or assumed salary savings to buy
Right.
office chairs. And I do appreciate Director Torres going through the process, getting us well informed of this and allowing us to make the decision publicly. So thank you, ma'am. If you're listening, you got the green light. I will follow up with the email if you're not listening. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that's the only kind of hot one floating out there. I know we are, Mr. McBrain, very, very cognizant of your hiring situation, and this board has your back. We will work with you. We will continue the conversations. I don't want to be cryptic about that. The Budget and Finance Department is seeking to hire a number of jobs. First and foremost, a controller, and then some accounting generalist help. We have at times throughout the process struggled to offer what the applicants feel is a competitive salary. And we want to make sure that we're working within policy to offer good applicants what we can, but also if there's a great applicant on the hook or a necessity for a deviation from policy, we can absolutely have those conversations.
The only other operational update is, I mean, if folks would like to, we just have this meeting transcribed right now. So if folks are coming into the meeting and would like to have the meeting transcribed up on the screen, please just let us know, and I'll try to make a reminder of that moving forward at the beginning of meetings. Anything else?
That's it.
Yeah, that'll leave us with a request for executive session, Ms. Mitchell.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. It would be appropriate to go into executive session for the purpose of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions under CRS Section 24.6 424B, and specific legal issues are regarding a potential issuance of certificates of participation and financing of a cooling tower for the Government Services Building, potential agreement with the Pueblo Hispanic Education Foundation for Marijuana Excise Tax Scholarship Administration, potential settlement regarding Brightly Software Agreement and 2026 federal forest payment allocations, and determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations, and are instructing negotiators under CRS Section 24.6 424E regarding a potential agreement with PF for Marijuana Excise Tax Scholarship Administration and 2026 federal forest payment allocations.
Thank you. I will ask for a motion to go into executive session for the reasons cited.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we are in executive session.